So I think the story is really important. The story is what connects us and what connects us to value. So this is the story about empty bowls as I had heard it. There were some potters like myself that were in their community, and being peer group, they were hanging out together. And being artists, they didn't have a whole lot of money to spend on different things, but they wanted to help their local food pantry out. They said, well, we don't have a whole bunch of money to give, so what can we do? And the guy said, well, what do we do? And he said, well, we're potters, we make pots. And somebody said, but you know, I make a pretty good pot of soup. I can make some chili. And so their idea came together that they would make bowls, handmade bowls. As artists, they could do this, and they could make soup, again, very simple. And they would sell tickets to their local community to come for an evening, to get together and to, as a friend said, break bread and enjoy each other's company. And then the idea was that they would have the meal, and then the handmade bowls would go home with the people who participated in the event. And then the money would be given to the food pantry. It's really simplistic, and I think that's what's really important. So prior to this, I would have soup potlucks, and the thing I really liked about the soup potlucks was everybody was really excited to bring their favorite soup and get together. But I think a lot of it was like that, getting together. It's once again, it's what people like to do. They like to gather around the fire and roast their marshmallows or whatever in community, and it's not a huge thing. It's just a really big thing as far as human beings and community, and it's a simple thing, and I think that's what makes it work. I think that's what makes it really come together. The integration of art into everyday living, into the simple and the profound, and into your everyday life is really, really important. There is something in the human mind that appreciates something that came from a person. Nothing against technology, but there is something we like about Grandma's handmade quilt or Grandpa's handmade clock, both of which I have. Thank you very much. and so really, the Empty Bowls project is just forwarding the artwork as a tool. There's a number of really big things that I like about making art. And one of the biggest ones is just you become part of creation, as in a creator of. So the really cool thing about clay is that you start with dust and then add water and your hands, and then your imagination takes over, along with physics. I mean, there's a limitation. The potential for clay, you find it everywhere. It's in every single culture. And I think the reason that it is that because it's more versatile than most people can even imagine. The space shuttle can't come in to the atmosphere without clay. The metal would melt, so on the bottom of the space shuttle is ceramic tiles. You can make any number of things. It's ceaseless, it's endless. The other thing I really like about clay as an art is that it's so recyclable. So everything in my shop, it's a big dusty mess, but it's all recyclable. So I don't have to grow another tree. I don't have to wait for another stone to form. You can keep recycling it until you fire it to 2,300 degrees and turn it back into a rock. I read about some archaeologists that were in North Africa, and they said, you know what, we'll bet you that we can dive off of North Africa, I don't remember which country they were in, and we can find Greek artifacts, Roman artifacts. It took them 15 minutes, and they came up, and what they came up with was ceramics. They came up with clay. So it's fairly ubiquitous, it's fairly universal in our society, and I think, again, because of its great capacity to serve many, many, many functions, art being one of them. We're not going to rush in and just magically solve all the world's problems, but we can solve that one problem at a time, one step at a time. I mean, it's pretty simple, not rocket science.